All right, we're going Micheless today, Coach. We don't need Mike's to talk about the Spring Garden Panthers this week, brother. Coach, how are you doing? First of all,
Doing good. How about you?
doing good, man.
You look a little tired, man.
I am tired, bro.
Playoff schedule. Facing media,
What destroyed me was the
Volleyball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that whole tournament by myself. Normally, I was telling somebody the other day, like, to get up about anywhere from 20 to 35 pictures or so on an album, it's usually about, you have to take about 300, and it takes about an hour to edit. I put 21 albums up on day one.
Yeah, I knew I saw all your pictures uploading last week. I was like, man, both busy.
I had somebody ask
Hey, at
me,
least he's in one spot. You ain't got to.
yeah, that's true. Here's the only problem is you may have 4 or 6 teams that we cover going at once.
Yeah.
So you got to shoot them all, then get them up before the next set of games go off, because you'll have 2 or 3 playing in.
Put in some time.
So it's very tiresome, you know. But yeah, I am tired. You got that right. But Coach, last week you guys took on Ranburne. It's a good team to close the season out because they're always a challenging team. The most important thing is what we're about to talk about, the playoffs. But before we get over into the playoff talk, let's talk about last week's game with Ranburne.
Yeah, I said Ranburne, going into the Ranburne game, you look at Ranburne's schedule, and I think they ended up 4-6. But you throw them in there in that region, with the Reeltown and Lynette and Lochapoka, those top teams. I mean, they Central Coosa, who's played really well this year too in their region. I think ended up being their 4. They played some good football teams in their region, and so Ranburne they're big, they're physical. Coach Bailey, does a great job. His staff coaching them, execution. They're always crisp and they play hard. I feel like a lot of similarities between their kids and our kids, the style of play, and just hard-nosed. And it was a hard-hitting game. And after that game was over, we was watching film Sunday, and one of the coaches said, we were lucky to come out of the game without, anybody banged up and bruised up. It's hard, as physical as both teams played. So, but it was a good, you go on the road, you hate to come away with a loss, but you go on the road and you play a good team, and you get in the game where you have a chance to win. We have a chance to win several times, and just didn't pull it off. But going on the road, playing a good team, that was a good. I'd rather play a good team that we kind of find out something about ourselves going into the playoffs than either have an off week or
and on the road
type game. Yeah,
that's another key factor in that one.
Yeah, go
and be competitive on the road versus a team like that. Yeah. Absolutely. As the crows flies, they're right across the state line from a monster too.
Man,
Bowden.
Yeah.
So they're the same type kids though. Those kids are right there beside each other. So you're right. They got athletes. They got tough, hard-nosed kids that's been used to winning. So that is a really good opponent to take on before these playoff starts. And
yeah.
Now that we're talking playoffs, you guys got Hackleburg. You're on the road. A team that you're kind of familiar with. I mean, I'll know about Hackleburg and have for years, but for those who may not know a lot about them, what have you seen from this particular Hackleburg team?
Well, they're a team that they've been in the playoffs. They've got tradition in all sports. We played them. Go back to 2018. We played them. We went to Hackleburg in 2018, so we have seen them. These kids hadn't. Kids are playing now. They were probably in the stands, or some of them maybe a ball boy at the time. But it is a haul over there. It's a drive about 3 hours. But they're big. They've got a young quarterback that throws the ball around well, runs it well. Got a good running back. I mean, they're solid. I mean, you get this time of year. It's not very often that you face somebody in the playoffs that's not a solid football team, and so it's gonna be a tough game. And I feel like them being the 2 and us being the 3, having to travel and make that drive, it just throws another obstacle that you got to overcome and learn how to handle that road trip.
Coach, you've had some really good road trips this year. You've played some really good teams on the road. You've played some really good teams overall. Talk about that schedule y'all played and how you're going to kind of lean on that and say, hey, we've seen this team. We've seen that team. We've seen an undefeated App. We've seen whoever it may be, Pleasant Valley, whatever.
Played Pleasant Valley early on at home. Was probably one of the best team on our schedule. Was Pleasant Valley.
They're having the greatest team in their history over there this year.
Yeah, they were solid. We got them at home, but I have the Appalachia game. And Coach, they got a solid team at Appalachia this year. They're big, they're physical. I mean, they're fast. He's got kids that's played for him and knows what to do. And we go there to Appalachia and had a chance to win the game a couple times. But that's what I've told the kids a lot over this last 2 weeks. The difference between playoffs and those games that we use. you know, you don't get a second chance. You don't go, hey, we get to learn. No, the learning's over.
Yep.
That Appalachia type game, that was a playoff atmosphere. It was a playoff type game. And now if you don't make those plays this week,
Yeah.
that's it. There's no next week to come back in and fix it. So we
And
got to fix those mistakes and not just be, hey guys, we're in a close game. Now we got to turn it into we were able to win a close game.
Not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but you know, you got to tell your seniors too. This is it. Period.
Yeah, you want. I mean, you get a chance to play. We hadn't played a home game in, let's see, 4 weeks.
That's crazy.
You know, so it'll be 5 weeks this week.
That's crazy.
We had senior night when we played Galesville. So yeah,
It's
4
been
weeks.
over a month, a calendar month.
Yep.
Wow.
So you know, our thing is one of our things is, hey, let's scrap and claw and fight, do whatever we got to do to get these seniors back here in our stadium in front of our folks.
What? That was my next question. What? The scenario, not putting the cart ahead of the horse, but you guys would absolutely host second round, correct? Or
Then if you go, you know, if we upset and the other side upset, then it would go to some kind of tiebreaker.
I got
As far
you.
as who travels.
Who travel? I
Yeah.
got you. Okay. But there's a really good chance if you were to win this football game, you host.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you
Ju-
think so.
The simple fact of you being able to give out the practice jerseys again for another week, let them keep their helmet for another week. What's the keys to that in this particular game versus Hackleburg, you think?
Well, I go back to what we talked about like early on. We was asking about, you know, we talked some of our early episodes about what was key for this young team to be successful this year. Just execute simple things that we do. You know, don't let the misexecution of those simple things get us. And that's what's got us in this close game is just, you know, wrong step here, bobble here, you know, just missed tackle. But again, block and tackle. You know, one thing I like about this team coming into playoffs is this group really we've messed up on some X's and O's, and that's kind of been the difference maker in some of our losses. But it's not been an effort, and so that's one of the things. You know, a coach will say, "I can't coach effort. I can't make you play hard." That's one thing I have not had a problem with this team. Coaches always love coaching this team this year because they show up and they play hard.
Gotcha.
And they make a mistake. They've been really good about answering the bell.
They own
like in
up
those
to it.
close games, it's just been too little, too late.
Right. That's key right there. Because that's the one thing, you know, if you ever go into a battle, you can't bring that out of kids, is effort.
That's right.
Now, you can fix X's and O's and some, like you said, some stepping and some, you know, misdirection stuff or keys, but if the effort ain't there, that's the one thing you have to have in every battle, in my opinion. I think you'll agree with me on that one.
Yeah.
But that right there is the one that's the absolute must of all musts has got to have the effort. The next thing to the game, Coach, these kids have played in a lot of meaningful games. They've played in a lot of playoff games. These guys they were scout team when they watched some of the greatest runs go through here. And last year when they had the Welch brothers leaning on them, how does that stuff play into these playoffs? I mean, all that stuff is accumulation. I think it helps. Well, I mean, your opinion on
I
that.
mean, these seniors, some of them that's dressed out on the varsity level since 8th grade, you know, pulled up from junior high. You know, I told them yesterday in film, I said, here's the importance of this week of practice. I said, seniors, let's just say we went through kind of figured out, said, y'all, over your career, you have earned somewhere around 11 extra weeks of football practice.
That's awesome.
Since your 8th grade year. And so you get those reps as a 9th grader on scout team where you think, man, I ain't even playing on Friday night. But, you know, looking back now as a senior, you look back and, hey, I was a scout team linebacker, I was a scout team running back. Then your sophomore year, that next year, you had those extra 2 or 3 weeks of practice. That boosts you ahead of people that are already in the gym shooting basketball or
That's right.
off the practice field. I mean, so over the years, these extra weeks in playoffs preparation, you know, help your younger kids, not just preparing our kids for the here and now.
1,000%. I mean, like, and if you look at it, you know, football, I know it's changed a little bit over the last few years, but hey, spring football used to be 1 week, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, y'all have had 11 of those. Think about that. This
Yeah.
group's had 11 spring football week practices, kind of.
I think, and you know, I can't tell you last time that we did a spring
Yeah.
football. But, you know, being a small school, you have,
You're
kids
playing other
everything,
sports.
Yeah.
But you know, like when you and I were in school, a lot of times that was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And like you got a lot of work done on those weeks, which is the same with you guys here. I mean, you know, they're getting to play some of these, you know, whether it be Cam Welch, they're having to tackle as a freshman, whatever. These guys are getting to play, you know, some of these dudes that have been monsters coming through here, and now they're morphed
Yeah.
into that role. Just before we shut it down, Coach, just kind of wrap it up. Just final thoughts on everything, and when will you know a definitive answer on a Thursday move or not?
Well, here pretty shortly. Hopefully, I mean, I'd like to get it done as quick as possible. I know some people are moving games already, and I think several people around here have moved the games. And it's just, you know, it's just one of those.
Okay.
It's one of those, you know. So we're sitting here going, well, you wait till tomorrow and see if the weather changes, or you do it now so people can plan.
Well, you probably got to go ahead and install and do everything as if you were playing on Thursday, don't
Oh
you?
yeah.
Yeah, regardless.
So look at that weather app a lot today. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, but regardless, hey, Thursday or Friday, you know, message to kids is we're 0-0 right now.
That's right.
Headed into the second season, and it's got to be perfect.
That's it. Coach, I appreciate your time sitting in with me, and good luck to you guys going forward. And if you find out, could you text me? And if I haven't got the video up, I'll post it.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.